have a 6-year-old child. He'll be 7 on Sunday. And 9 months ago, he was diagnosed with Attention Hyperactivity Disorder. He was supposed to be taking medication, but I really didn't want to go that route. I know about all the bad side effects. My life up to then there was very, very difficult. I mean, I would get notes from the teacher almost daily. He would have temper tantrums at least 4 days out of 1 week. And the temper tantrums were, on the floor, screaming, kicking. A few times I was called by the principal, and they shared with me that he said, I wish I wouldn't been born. Just for little things, he would get extremely upset, and he wouldn't be able to control his anger for simple things. It got to the point that I thought that they were going to tell me to put him in another school. Well, we went to FIU long-term study for ADHD, and they officially diagnosed him with a psychiatrist, and they recommend him to be in the group that would take medication. I refused that option, and they offered me behavioral therapy, which we did. We both went to the classes, we both received the therapy, but there wasn't any changes, and many of the things that we were following were just inefficient, or there wasn't absolutely any change. Even the teacher recognized that. Well, I know that traditional medicine is necessary in certain cases, but I didn't give up. I knew that there were other avenues that I didn't know about, and I went to research in the internet, online, asking people everywhere, even in the same group of behavioral therapy that I was going. But everybody there was giving up. Everybody would take those classes and straight to medication. I didn't want to be one of the cases that gave up. So I found few options, and I called each one, and I literally interviewed these people over the phone, and I said, what do you do? Why do you do it? And when I called holistic specialists, what I liked the most was that the first thing they told me is that they were going to be looking for the root of the problem. I told them about my situation because back then I was recently laid off, so I didn't have all the resources needed financially, but they made a way. Every time I would find something that I couldn't do, they would tell me, look, just come and we'll talk about it. So they were the only ones that gave me hope and didn't make an obstacle every time, but they just told me they would try to work with me, and that was the first appointment we made. Well, the first appointment was an interview about my child's history from birth to 5-year-old, where he was 5 years old at the time I brought him, and they asked me a very detailed history of it, and I was kind of like puzzled because I took him prior to that. I took him to his pediatrician, and he ordered just the regular test, for a physical blood test and all that. And after we finished, they recommended a series of tests in a list, and I have a master's in public health, so I'm kind of familiar with the terms and tests that usually are recommended. But the tests they recommended were something that I never heard, like the DNA stool test and the specific areas in his blood test. And I went and I researched for hours and hours, and I found out that, for example, the stool test was something that it was done, I think, for 1 or 2 laboratories in the country, and it was so much in detail, and it was so precise. It was going to be targeting exactly an area of deficiency in my child's digestive system. And I thought, wow, it seems that this is something that not everybody knows. How come nobody ever told me about this? I was puzzled. I was at some point kind of like wondering, is it true or not? Well, the results gave information that my son had parasites and some major digestive problems. And what I liked is that since the beginning they told me you can go the traditional approach and give him antibiotics, but this is what's going to happen to his digestive system, or you can go the natural route, and it's going to be slower, but he's going to be better. So I was very happy that I was given alternatives. So of course we selected the natural way, and he was given certain herbs and pills that he was going to have to take every day. It wasn't easy for a 5-year-old to take these pills, so I had to cut them, open them up, and put them in with his yogurt. At the same time, I was given a whole set of new rules of eating, and it was completely radical, because I thought I was eating right because I was eating organic and everything organic, but this was completely different. I was explained why should I eat differently. It wasn't just a list that they gave me and do this and do that. They explained the why for everything. My child, I had to explain to him also why no more sugar. Sometimes he could have some honey. Why not this? Why not that? And it was difficult. But it didn't start on day one. I mean, honestly, the change in diet was traumatic for me, for him, because what do? We go out, he's hungry, he cannot eat anywhere anymore. So it wasn't easy. But even after the second week, I started to see changes. He was a little bit more relaxed. He wasn't having temper tantrums. After those 2 or 3 weeks, the vacation season started, so he wasn't going to school anymore, and he was staying at home with me. He was more calm. He wasn't running around. I was able to go to the supermarket like a regular mother, and I didn't have my 5-year-old child running and me searching around, where is he? And I would tell him things like, for example, okay, we're going to go to a toy store. I'm going to buy you something for $2. That's it. He was calm. He would wait, and that was it. Before, it was a complete disaster. He would scream, I want that, I want that. So changes started to happen. I also noticed that his drawing changed. Before, he would color, and you would give him a picture like a square, and you would see that he would go everywhere. But now he was able to stay within the lines. And I thought that was curious, but it could have been natural maturation, or it could have been his diet. I wasn't sure. But at the same time, he started to focus for longer when he was reading. Well, he didn't know how to read perfectly, but few things, right? So his learning process was improving too. And he was staying with me throughout the whole vacation time. He showed dramatic change. I mean, he's not perfect, but he did show dramatic change. Okay, he's gonna be 7 this Sunday. He reads so well. I'm very proud of him. He's writing. He's not 100% there. He's still, sometimes he comes in red, because in his class they give him red if he doesn't behave. But before, it used to be 4 out of 5 days. Now it's maybe once every other week, maybe twice every other week. What I found out is that this lifestyle, because it's a complete change, it involves not only the child, but the whole family. And it's not easy, but it's worth it. Some people say that, oh, it's too expensive, but I found out it's more expensive to be sick, not only in money, but also in time. And I did backslide a little, because I saw that he was getting better, and I'm gonna have to go and regain that territory that I lost. And also I'm gonna have to find more people that are willing to go in this path to get their kids better, because it helps to help each other. Well, when I came here, I didn't know how unhealthy we were. I thought things like this were natural. My child, he was in the daycare center when he was up to 2.5 years old. He would get sick at least twice per month. After that, when he was with me at home, he would get sick at least 10 times a year. I got to the point that I had pink eye twice in a month. We get sick with anything all the time. But since we started eating as we were recommended to eat, the worst thing I had was a cold. And my son, I think he's been sick twice, and he got like low-grade fever. I think I don't need to have a medical insurance. I would have been wasting my money all this time. This is a level of health that I didn't know. In fact, for me personally, I didn't know that normal was not to have any like feeling of being bloated or feeling pain in your stomach. I didn't know that was normal. Now I do. Well, after having a life-changing experience, the least I can do is like give back. And every time I encounter anybody, any mother desperate for her child to make a change, I definitely share the information and the experience I went through, because there is hope besides medicine. This is kind of like a mission for me, because I feel that, look, if there is one person that can hear and just find this lifestyle that's not going to change just the person they think they want to help, but the whole family, it is worth it. It is worth it. And what I like is that in holistic specialists, I mean, we didn't only get treatment, but we got information. We got like we got guidance at any time. I could have picked up the phone and called Shanti or Diego anytime. I called them on Saturday, on Sunday. They answered back to me. I mean, and I didn't feel bad. I knew they were there for me and for my child. So I felt like they were kind of holding my hand. So when I share with other people how they can change their lives, I tell them that. I tell them that, you know, you're not only going to get professional help, but you're going to get something like a family.